The movie begins with Katie, the shy girl, starting her first year in high school. Her mom drops her off at school, and Katie imagines that all the students will welcome her and want to be friends with her. But what actually happens is completely the opposite. In class, Mr. Duval welcomes Katie as the newest student in the school. Meanwhile, Miss Noor is surprised by Katie's grades in math and tells her, "You're going to have a great future in my subject." In French class, the teacher asks Katie to choose a French name for herself, but Katie doesn't know what to pick. At that moment, Janice, the cute girl, tells her, "Tell her your name is Marie." At lunch, Katie gets her food, but none of the students are willing to let her sit at their table, so she takes her food and goes to the bathroom to eat. Janice and Damien notice what's happening to her and decide to go to the bathroom to comfort her. Janice introduces herself and says, "This is Damien. He's got musical talent, but just can't express it all." Janice tells her, "We've decided to help you adjust to this school and understand what kind of students go here." They take her to the food court and tell her, "You need to find your own group among these students. For example, those are the music kids and the rebellious ones, and those are the group of weird students. Then you've got the jocks. Over there are the smart kids who love math. As for those two girls, they're in the fake girls group. That's because they're totally fake. That one is Gretchen. She knows all the secrets of the students here and never keeps anyone's secret. The one next to her is Karen. She's the dumbest person you could ever meet in your life." And just as Katie is asking them, "Can I be part of your group then?" they're all shocked when Regina, the beautiful girl with the athletic and slim body, arrives at school. Regina is the head leader of the fake girls clique, and she's extremely mean. When Regina sees Katie, she calls her over and says, "You must be new here." Katie replies, "Yeah, I just moved from Kenya." Regina says, "You're pretty, and it looks like you'll fit in with us." Then asks her to step aside for a moment so she can talk to her group. Then she turns back to Katie and says, "Look, we've never done this before, but you're invited to join our group, and don't forget, we wear pink on Wednesdays." Katie gets really happy about that and feels like she finally belongs to a group. She goes to Janice and Damien and tells them about Regina's invitation and says she thinks Regina seems nice and kind. But Damien tells her, "No, she's not nice at all. She even said something about Janice back in elementary school." But Janice stops him and doesn't let him say what it was. In math class, all the students start to notice how smart and brilliant Katie is. Aaron, the handsome and gentlemanly guy, turns to her and says, "Whoa, are you here to steal the spotlight or what?" Shy Katie gets nervous and can't respond, and we see in her eyes that she's fallen into Aaron's love trap. She was daydreaming about him so much that the school bus almost hit her. The next day in the school food court, Gretchen tells her, "Look, we only wear tracksuits on Fridays, and if you wear one on any other day, then you're out of our group." Regina is trying to calculate the calorie speeds in her food so she doesn't gain weight and keeps her figure. Katie helps her and does the math for her because she's very good at math. Regina walks off to get something else to eat, and Karen asks Katie, "So, is there a guy you like?" Katie replies, "Yeah, there's this guy named Aaron from math class." Gretchen says, "Oh my God, are you serious? That's Regina's ex." "Listen, we have a rule. No girl is allowed to date another girl's ex. And because I'm a loyal friend and I want what's best for you, I'm not going to tell Regina that you like him, but you have to make sure nothing happens between you two." After a while, the head leader of the math club comes to Katie and invites her to join the competitions they participate in, but the fake girls clique immediately shuts him down, and Regina invites Katie to spend the day at her house and even promises to give her a pair of shoes as a gift. Katie goes to her friends and tells them that Regina invited her over. Janice warns her not to go and says, "If you go there, you'll regret it." That girl has no heart and doesn't know the meaning of friendship or anything else. We see just how much control Regina has over all the students. Everyone fears her and treats her like royalty. But Katie ignores Janice's warning, and after school, she goes with Regina to her house. There, Katie is surprised by how shallow their interests are, obsessed with their bodies and skin. After a while, they open Regina's burn book, which is basically a book full of mean things Regina has written about every student in school. When it comes to Janice and Damien's picture, Katie says, "They're actually really nice people. Damien's even got a talent for singing, but just can't express it all." The girls take what she says and write it under Damien's picture. Regina then says, "Watch out, Janice isn't as good as you think. Back in elementary school, she got so jealous and bitter because I had a boyfriend and she didn't. She burned my purse." After that, Regina talks to Gretchen in a bossy tone and says, "Go bring the shoes for Katie." Gretchen goes and gives her the shoes, but we see how sad and broken she looks because of how badly Regina treats her. The next day at school, Katie gives her friends some chocolate cookies, and they love how they taste. Katie tells them, "My mom always gives them to old people so they can gain weight fast." Katie wears the shoes Regina gave her, but she doesn't know how to walk in them because they have high heels, and she ends up looking ridiculous. During recess, Janice asks her, Did you get close to Aaron yet, or what? Katie replies, I've tried a few times. The best one was pretending not to understand math so he could explain it to me. At another time, after the math exam, Aaron invited Katie to a Halloween party, and she was so excited she could barely contain her happiness. On the day of the party, Katie wore a scary costume, unlike all the other girls who were dressed in cute outfits. Gretchen said to her, What did you do to yourself? While Gretchen was talking to Katie, Regina messaged her asking who invited Katie. And since Gretchen can't keep a secret, she told Regina that Aaron invited her because Katie has a crush on him. Aaron comes over and welcomes Katie, and he actually likes her costume, unlike the other girls who were grossed out by it. Aaron went to get her a drink, and Regina used the opportunity to say, I can tell you like him. Want me to talk to him for you and see if he likes you back? Then Regina went to Aaron, but because she was jealous of Katie and didn't want her to be with her ex, she pretended that she was still in love with him and couldn't live without him. Aaron fell for it and believed her lies. This was a huge shock for Katie because she really loved Aaron and considered him the love of her life. Katie ran to her friends and told them, Regina got back with Aaron and totally broke my heart. Damien said, I told you she's not trustworthy, and asked Janice for permission to tell Katie the full story. He explained, Regina is the one who humiliated Janice back in elementary school. She bullied her and made all the students mock her. They were friends at the time and even had their own handmade doll. When Janice decided to burn the doll to end their friendship, Regina's bag caught fire too, and Janice got expelled. No one has known the real story until now. Janice said, the takeaway from this is that Regina is not a good person like you think. She added, anyway, we're gonna help you take her down and win Aaron back. And they actually started training Katie in a new way of life, how to act like a fake plastic version of herself, just like Regina. Katie officially began her journey of revenge, and the next day at school, she told Regina that the cookies she had were for weight loss. So without even questioning Katie, Regina said, that's great. Get me 2 boxes of it because I need to lose 1.5 kilos urgently. That way, Katie started executing her plan to make Regina gain weight and ruin her perfect figure. During an award event for Regina, Janice and Katie decided to activate the water sprinklers to humiliate her, but instead, everyone was impressed by how Regina looked soaking wet. The plan backfired. In class, Janice said to Katie, what do you think about making Gretchen feel like Regina doesn't like her anymore? That way she'll open up and spill secrets we can use to destroy Regina. But Katie objected to the idea because she didn't want to hurt Gretchen emotionally. However, the next day at school, Regina showed up and kept throwing shade at Katie, trying to provoke her. She said to Katie, by the way, can you please tell my boyfriend Aaron that he looks handsome when he slicks his hair back? Sadly, Katie went along with it because she didn't want to ruin her long-term plan. But after Regina walked away, Katie turned to her friends and said, I'm in. Let's go with the plan to break Regina and Gretchen apart. And indeed, the next day, Damien dresses up as Santa Claus and gives Katie a note pretending it's from Regina. When Gretchen asks her, what did she write to you? Katie replies, she wrote that I'm her best friend ever. That really upsets Gretchen. She takes Katie to the bathroom and spills all of Regina's secrets. Most importantly, that Regina doesn't actually love Aaron and has been cheating on him in the school's storage room. Katie takes that information straight to Aaron to let him know. When Aaron finds out Regina has been cheating on him, he leaves school feeling heartbroken. The next day, Katie tries to talk to him, but he apologizes and walks away. Just as Katie is about to go after him, Miss Noor stops her and says, you've been failing math for several tests now. I think you need to stay away from Aaron for a while so your future doesn't fall apart. Katie doesn't like what she hears and goes to tell Karen and Gretchen about it. Gretchen says she's just like those strict, controlling types. Forget about her. Go ahead and write something about her in the burn book. On the day of the school celebration, Regina's team is scheduled to perform a dance in front of the audience, but Regina is extremely moody and lashes out at everyone because she's been in a bad mood lately. She's unhappy with how her skin looks. When it's their turn, the girls go up on stage and give an amazing dance performance, but something totally unexpected happens. Regina slips and falls on stage, and everyone is happy and secretly thrilled to see it. All the students start thinking that Katie is prettier and sweeter than Regina. At Janice's house, Janice tells her, you've already gotten your revenge. Her boyfriend left her, and her popularity is gone. I think you should stop everything you're doing now. But Katie replies, no, there's one last thing I have to do. The next day, she shows up to school wearing the nasty tank top from the cord and sits with the fake girls. When Regina comes to sit with them, Gretchen says, no, you can't sit with us. Get out of our group. That's because she wore a tracksuit on a day that wasn't Friday. Regina responds, I'm not wearing it because I love it. Sadly, it's the only thing that fits my body right now. When Gretchen turns to Katie and asks, so what do we do? Katie looks at Regina and says, sorry, rules are rules. The next day in class, Katie is unusually focused on her appearance and keeps looking at herself in the mirror. Then, she hears her name announced over the classroom TV. It's the school announcing that she's one of the nominees for Spring Fling Queen. Janice and Damien are super happy for her, and Janice says, "Don't let the fame make you forget to come to my art show this weekend." But Katie apologizes and says, "I won't be able to make it. I have to go somewhere important with my mom." When Katie leaves school, she runs into Gretchen, who says, "What do you think about throwing a party at your house this weekend?" Katie replies, "I can't. I'll be busy with my mom out of the house." Gretchen says, "You could just let your mom go alone. That way you can invite Aaron to the party and finally confess your love for each other." The idea appealed to Katie, so she went home crying to her mom and told her, "I can't go with you because my friend Janice needs me at her art exhibit." Her mom's heart softened, and she didn't want to pressure her, so she agreed to go alone. The next day at school, Katie invited Aaron to come to the party at her house, and Aaron happily agreed. On the day of the party, Katie was surprised by the large number of students who came to her house, and she kept looking for Aaron until she found him. On the other side, Regina's mom went to her and said, "Sweetheart, you've been running around since the morning, and how do you expect to lose weight while eating those cookies? We give them to your grandmother to help her gain weight quickly." At that moment, Regina was shocked at how foolish she'd been and started screaming. Back to Katie and Aaron. Katie confessed to him that she had been pretending and that she actually understood math well, but did all of that just to be able to talk to him. Aaron asked her, "Why didn't you just try talking to me instead of playing games?" Katie replied, "Well, you used to be with Regina, so I wasn't sure how to approach you." Aaron got upset with Katie's behavior and felt she had become another version of Regina, so he left. Katie ran after him, only to be surprised by Janice standing right in front of her. Janice told her, "You know what? You're a liar and a horrible person. You told me you had plans with your mom, and yet you didn't show up at my art exhibit because you were throwing a party here for your fake friends. Just like you." And when Katie struggled to explain herself, Janice said, "There, now you've shown your true colors. That's what fake girls are like. You think we're all stupid." She got angry and walked away. Meanwhile, Regina decided to get back at Katie. She cut out her picture, pasted it in the burn book, and wrote that she was an ugly girl. That night, she took the book and dumped it at school so the girls would find it the next day and ruin Katie's reputation. And that's exactly what happens the next day. All the girls find something written about them in the burn book. The only ones who don't have anything written about them are Katie, Karen, and Gretchen, which makes everyone suspicious that one of the three of them is responsible. It must have been Katie, because she's the only one who knows the line you said about me. As things get worse at school and the girls all start fighting with each other, each one thinking the other wrote something about her, Mr. Duval gathers all the students in the gym and lets his wife, Ms. Norbury, speak to them and set them straight. Ms. Norbury says to them, "So you wrote that I'm a drug dealer? Who did it? Katie, do you know anything about this?" Katie answers, "No." Miss Norbury says to the students, "Okay, who here hasn't said something mean to a classmate? The point is, we've all done things that hurt others, so don't stand here acting like innocent victims." She then makes each student stand up and apologize to everyone for anything they've done that may have hurt someone. When it's Janice's turn, she gets up and says, "I'm not going to apologize to anyone. My friend and I thought it would be fun to ruin Regina's life. That's why we gave her those weight gain bars. And we also turned her friend against her so she'd have no one." And Katie managed to get Aaron to break up with her. But it turns out Katie is just as selfish as Regina. There's no difference between them. Katie and Regina start arguing about what happened, and then Regina storms off in front of the whole school, only to suddenly get hit by a bus. The next day in class, Mr. Duval informs the students that Miss Norbury won't be able to be with them for a while because the police arrested her thinking she was a drug dealer. Katie can't stand lying anymore. So she gets up and confesses to Mr. Duval that she's the one who wrote that about Ms. Norbury. Katie goes home and tells her mom that she's been suspended from school for 3 weeks. And of course, her mom gets very upset. Then she heads to Regina's house and leaves her some flowers, but she doesn't have the courage to knock on the door and talk to her. Katie spends her suspension from school in deep sadness and disappointment over what she's done. On her first day back at school, she goes and apologizes to Ms. Norbury. Ms. Norbury asks her, "So, are you going to confess and say who wrote the rest of the things in the book?" Katie answers, "No, I've decided not to talk about anyone behind their back." At that moment, Aaron shows up and says, "I think getting hit by a bus was punishment enough for her." Ms. Norbury asks Katie, "Are you going to the spring fling dance?" Katie answers, "No, everyone hates me." Ms. Norbury says, "I have a good idea for you. How about you join the mathletes team?" Katie agrees right away and heads to the competition. Meanwhile, we see that Regina is doing better and wearing the dress she'll wear to the spring fling, just like every year. Back at the competition, the two teams are tied. Each team selects one girl to answer a question alone, and if she gets it right, her team wins. Because Katie is really good at math, she's able to answer correctly, and her team wins. Ms. Norbury takes her and the team to attend the spring fling. Katie goes to the bathroom and is surprised to find Regina there. all bruised up. Katie apologizes to her for everything she did. Regina acts differently than usual. She's forgiving and kind. Katie is happy that Regina has changed, but Regina tells her, "No, I'm only being nice because of the painkillers I'm on. As soon as they wear off, I'll go back to my normal self because this world isn't made for nice people." At the spring fling celebration, Mr. Duval hands out crowns to all the kings and queens of the dance. Among the names he calls is Katie's. She gets on stage and tells the students, "I think you nominated me for this title because you think I'm special, but I'm just a regular person, and I treated my friends badly. I'm sorry to all of you, and I'm also sorry to anyone who got hurt because of the burn book." Anyway, I find it strange that only one person wins this crown, and I think I should share it with all of you. She started breaking the crown into small pieces and handed them out to the students. Then she said to them, "No crown or jewelry will make you shine because you already shine on your own. Each and every one of you is special in your own way. So shine with who you are." Everyone was really happy with her speech and started cheering and celebrating. Katie came down from the stage and gave a piece of the crown to Janice and apologized to her. Kind-hearted Janice forgave her and hugged her. Then Aaron came over and congratulated Katie on her victory in the math competition, and their feelings took over. They confessed their love for each other. The movie ends with all the students happy, singing, and dancing without anyone bullying or insulting each other. And that brings us to the end of our summary. See you in new recaps. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write your opinion in the comments so we can discuss the movie together.